Hi, everyone. This is Mandy Solacek from the Long-Term Care Department here at Premier. And today we are excited to have Guaranteed Trust Life here to talk to us about their top short-term care product, short-term home health care. With us today, we have Greg Esposito. He is the Regional Vice President of Sales at GTL. Premier has had a long-standing relationship with GTL, and we always enjoy working with them. They're one of our favorite carriers to work with. So we're excited to be discussing their product today. If you have questions throughout Greg's presentation, please submit them either in the chat or in the questions box, and we will make time at the end to go over those. So we want to welcome Greg. We're happy to have you here. And with that, I'll let you get started.
Thanks, Mandy. Yeah, it's great to be here today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Looking forward to telling you about our short-term home health care plan. And just to give you a little bit of a heads up on it, we have had this plan for 3 years now, going into its fourth. It is performing exceptionally well on all fronts for policyholders, for GTL, and for the agents. So keep that in mind as I start telling you about this product and the incredible benefits and the incredible pricing, that it has been working extremely well. So why don't we go ahead and get started with a quick question that is something, doesn't matter what type of insurance you're selling to a client, when will they actually call you up on the phone and say, hey, I need this type of insurance, or I need help with my out-of-pocket home health care costs, or hey, I need some cancer insurance? Well, the answer to that is simple. We all know the answer. They're going to call us after they've had some type of a health event, when you're unfortunately going to have to tell them it's a little bit too late to apply. So the main thing that we have with regard to ancillary products is to try and make sure they have their main insurance coverage, but then also make sure they have some ancillary coverage to take care of some costs down the road in respect to like a Medicare Advantage plan. They're going to have some out-of-pocket costs, so maybe a hospital indemnity plan. And even the short-term home health care plan we're going to talk about today has a hospital indemnity rider in it. So really just bring up the fact that we have these products, and you'll find that you'll really be helping them down the road and helping yourself out too with commissions. So if you're not familiar with Guaranteed Trust, here's a couple things to know about us. We've been around for quite a while, since 1936. We have AM Best rating of A- excellent and zero debt on our balance sheets. Really what I like to impress upon you is the fact that GTL is here, and we've always been creating ancillary products that help clients with their out-of-pocket expenses when they use their main insurance coverage, or when they have a special event happen, like needing some home health care. We're known for getting things done very quickly, and that starts with contracting and ends with paying claims quickly. And everything in between, taking applications, processing them, we're the fastest in the business. Now, when we create a plan, we like to make sure it's got some great bells and whistles in it that nobody else offers. You'll see a couple of those today as we go through the short-term home health care plan. And also, one thing that we really like to do with the agents is help them get the cross-sale started and also help them prospect for sales. So I'm going to share with you a couple tools today, our cross-selling video and our cross-selling infographic. Both of these you can use to both prospect and at the appointment to get the cross-sale started. And believe me, when I show you the video today, you'll understand why a lot of agents just tell me, well, Greg, I say we have some home health care coverage from GTL. I play the video, and after they watch the video, they say, yes, sign me up. So we'll share that with you today, and you'll see how fun the videos are and helpful. Now, I just mentioned a couple minutes ago that GTL processes business faster than anybody else, and that is the absolute truth. All of our e-platforms have what we call STP. We call that straight-through processing, and that means that once you submit the application, you and the applicant will get an email in a few short minutes saying their coverage has been approved. So it only takes a couple minutes to get to business issued here at GTL, because all of our platforms are set up with STP. And speaking of platforms, we have a couple for you to choose from. If you're going to be meeting with the client, I recommend you download GTL eApp onto your tablet or smartphone. And you'll be able to grab that from Apple or Android, Google Play or the iTunes Store, wherever you want to grab those from, depending upon what type of device you have. Just download them. And from there, you'll be able to quote and submit e-applications. When you're with the client, they'll just sign your device screen and you will be all done. Now, in the virtual world we're living in today, we have another platform. Call it our PC platform or agent portal. And you'll be logging into GTL's website, and you can then sign in and do an e-application for your client. And you do not need to be with them because there's no signature required on that platform. Now, they will do a short verification call, but I'll get more into that in a little bit. But any way that you're going to do business now or the rest of the year and beyond, GTL has you covered, and you've got yourself a platform that will be able to issue your business in minutes. So the product we're talking about today is a short-term home health care product, and we did such an incredible job creating such a special name for it. We called it short-term home health care. So not the most creative name, but a very creative product that will work really well for your clients. By now you can see the states that it is currently approved in. Okay, so target market for short-term home health care plans. You might think this is a little odd to see your clients that are taking prescription drugs would be a great target market, but this product does have a prescription drug component on it that's out of this world. So if you have clients that are taking prescription drugs, that's your first target market with this plan. Your second one's a little more obvious. It's for your clients that haven't made any type of plans for care down the road. Maybe some of them tried and they couldn't afford the long-term care plan. Maybe health-wise they couldn't qualify for it. So if they don't have anything for down the road, our short-term home health care plan can really help. And it's not long-term care, but I've been told a couple things about it. One, it's great for clients who haven't made plans for long-term care down the road. And second, even clients that have a long-term care plan, sometimes there's a nice elimination period before that long-term care plan kicks in. Well, this one can be used until that happens. So a couple different options there for you. Here's another one that you might not have thought of. I'm 56 years old. My parents are currently 83 and 85 years old, very healthy, thankfully, and they don't have any type of long-term care plan. So as you know, it's usually the kids that will end up having to help either financially or changing their schedule or both. So some folks like me don't mind buying a short-term home health care plan and paying for it for their parents. That's another target market. Fun thing about the product is the fact that it's super simple to get and qualify for. I'm actually going to qualify everybody on the line for the product today. But the first thing I'm going to do is show you the consumer video that I've already been telling you about. And this is a great way to get the cross sale started. Or you could put this email on your social media account. You could send the link to this in an email to your client. Say, hey, here's a product that you should take a look at. Give me a call, and I'll tell you all about it in 15 minutes. So a lot of different ways to promote this plan. And let me just show you the video.
There's no bed like your own. And if you suffer an illness or have an accident, the last thing you would want to do is recover in an unfamiliar, hectic environment like a hospital or nursing home. Focus on your recovery in the comfort of your own home with short-term home health care insurance from Guaranteed Trust Life Insurance Company. Think about your family situation. You may be reaching that age where planning for future care is necessary, or maybe your parents are reminding you they don't want to go to a nursing home. How could being unprepared for either yours or your parents' need for care affect your finances and way of life? GTL's short-term home health care insurance is more affordable than most other plan of care policies, and it pays benefits directly to you regardless of any other insurance you have. Home health care benefits kick in if you suffer a cognitive disability or can't perform 2 of the 6 ADLs, and no hospital stay is required. The base plan consists of three main components, and there are three different base plans for you to choose from to match the level of coverage you want. With the home health care benefit, your chosen plan pays a benefit for up to 360 payments for a variety of services, including skilled nursing, physical therapy, and general nursing care. With our most comprehensive plan, you can receive up to $162,000 of home health care benefits. With the home health care aid benefit, you can receive a daily benefit for each day you require the services of a home health care aid, depending on your chosen plan, and no hospitalization stay is required. Most likely, you're taking at least one prescription medication. With the prescription drug benefit, you can receive benefits for any prescriptions that are filled after the policy is in effect. Just filling your normal prescriptions can help offset the cost of the policy itself. Now let's see how it works. Say you're 65 years old, have the Plan A policy, and take one brand name prescription that you refilled 10 times over the year. A GTL short-term home health care insurance policy would pay you a total benefit amount of $250 over those 12 months. With an annual policy premium of $294.45, the net cost of the policy would be less than $4 a month. And this is not even including any home health care benefits you may receive. Policyholders can also have access to Ask Mayo Clinic services 24 hours a day. Receive personalized support and trusted medical guidance for your health-related questions from the experts at Mayo Clinic. Short-term home health care insurance from GTL is flexible and customizable, with a great set of riders for you to choose from. And with only 2 or 3 underwriting questions, you don't have to worry about a long application process or medical exams. So, for a fair premium, wouldn't you rather receive professional care at home? Now is a great time to find out more about GTL's short-term home health care insurance.
There you go, fun little 3-minute video, and I think now you can see it really does a nice job of telling the client a little bit about the product. Definitely would be interested in calling you to find out more, and it just sets up the cross-sale for you too during an appointment. All right, so we also have that infographic. So if you're not going to play the video or prospect for business with the video, you can do either with the infographic. It works through the product in terms of what makes the product kick in, and also shows some of the benefits that are available. And on the back side of the page, which is on the right side of your screen, you can see there's an area for you to put a stamp, sticker, or staple your business card for your contact info. So if you're prospecting, you can toss these in an envelope, mail them to your clients, consumer approved mailing piece right here for you. You can either ask for the PDF of this so you could use this virtually, or we can mail some right to your front doorstep. And that number at the top of your screen is GTL sales support, where you can place an order, and I'll bring that up later for you too, so don't worry about jotting it right down now. Okay, as promised, let's qualify everybody on the line for the plan. So if you want Plan A or Plan B, you only have to answer the first 2 application questions no. So the first one, are you currently in a nursing home, assisted living facility getting home health care or similar type of benefits? If you can answer that no, you are halfway home. Second one, do you already have issues doing your ADLs, your activities of daily living, or have you been diagnosed with a cognitive impairment? If you can answer that no, you can now have Plan A or Plan B. You are all done. If you want to get Plan C, you also have to answer the third application question. So that's it. You're not going to see any type of underwriting other than the 3 application questions. And again, if you're applying for Plan A or B, you only have to answer the first 2. Super simple. Even if you're selling some other type of short-term care product, much shorter application and easier underwriting guidelines, and of course, much easier than a long-term care plan. But again, this is not a long-term care plan. All right, so a little bit more information for you. This plan is available to apply for from ages 61 to 85. And once you have it, you can keep it. So it doesn't go away at any time. Benefits don't lower at any time. As the video mentioned, We got 3 plans, Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C, and whichever one you choose, you do get all 3 components, the prescription drug benefit, home health care benefit, and home health care aid benefit. So all 3 components come with whichever plan you choose. Do not feel like you have to scramble and remember any of this. I'm going to go through these one by one. I threw all component benefits on the screen at once just to make one quick, simple point. If you choose Plan A for home health care when you apply, you will automatically get Plan A for the other 2 components. So you cannot mix and match components when you apply. It's going to be all A, all B, or all C. So starting off with the prescription drug benefit, if you are watching the video, you might have heard that exactly after your policy is issued, you can start using your prescription drug benefit. So that means the prescriptions you're already taking, any that your doctor gives you in the future, you can use this plan. So every time you get a refill, whether it's generic, you're going to get $10. Whether it's brand name, you're going to get $25. And you can do that every year you have your policy, up to $300 if you have Plan A, and up to $600 if you have Plan B or C. It's that simple. And now when you start thinking about, well, how much does this plan cost? Also start thinking about, well, how much is my client going to get back from GTL every year? And now you see why it's very inexpensive for them to have this plan. And then they got the home health care and home health care aid benefits waiting for them down the road when they need them. Now, here's a quick example, just like in the video. If I bought this plan and I'm 65 and I have Plan A, in the first 12 months that I have my policy, I filled 5 brand name and 10 generic prescriptions. Well, that's going to be $225 coming to me from GTL. My annual premium is $294.45. So how much did it actually cost me net out of pocket to have this plan for the first 12 months? Well, less than $6 per month. So if I were standing in front of you guys in group doing this presentation, hope to be doing that sometime in the near future, you'd probably have a couple hands up right about now. And these are generally the questions that I get. Saying, Greg, are you saying that if I just have a client who takes 1 brand name prescription and they fill it every month, that's going to end up being $300 and they're going to get that? Absolutely. Now, the $10 generic works the same way. So every time they refill a prescription, they're either going to get $10 or $25, depending upon if it's generic or brand name. This is a super important one to know because you will have many of your clients who are getting a 90-day supply or 3-month supply refill. It's important to know that the GTL plan pays based upon when they get a prescription filled. So if they're getting a 90-day supply filled, that's 1 prescription, so they're going to get 1 benefit. It will not be 3 benefits because it's 3-month supply. It's going to be 1 prescription refill, so 1 benefit. The last one, which is really important and leads me into the fact that this is an indemnity plan. So any coverage I talk to you about today, we are going to pay based upon the GTL coverage. So we really don't care what their actual out-of-pocket costs are, or if they have a Part D plan, or if they're using one of those discount apps for their prescriptions. We don't care if they stroll into Walgreens and use those and only pay $5 or $2.50 or nothing for their prescription. We are still going to pay them their $25 or $10 that they have coming to them. Okay, second component is the home health care benefits. Now, this is something definitely does have to happen to the client after policy issue in order for the home health care benefits to kick in. And that is going to be either they are diagnosed with a cognitive impairment, maybe early stage dementia or Alzheimer's, or a functional impairment where they can't do at least 2 of their activities of daily living, your toileting, transferring, grooming, eating, bathing. So keep in mind with that functional impairment area, this could be a temporary thing or it could be a permanent thing. So you got some 61-year-old out doing something and they accidentally slip and fall and break their hip. Well, they'll be able to use this product. They're probably going to recover. And so it's a temporary use. Or it could be something down the road where they, get to the age where they're not able to do all of their ADLs. So they will start using it then. So this product, think about it, it's not just for way down the road when you get a little older and things get more difficult. It could be just a car accident that gets them an injury that they need to get some home health care for a little bit. So if you're wondering how long the benefits last, 360 days. And the great news is 360 days has nothing to do with the calendar year. So I could use this product for 360 consecutive days, or I could use it once a week for 360 consecutive weeks. It doesn't matter, calendar related. You get 360 days of benefits before your home health care benefits are exhausted. And if you're wondering if they restore, I will give you a one-word answer, which is maybe. And that's kind of an odd answer to get, but it actually is true. And the restoration depends upon whether it's something they have recovered from or something that they're not going to recover from. So if I, for example, broke my hip, that's something I'd probably use this product for. I may use it for 1 day, 10 days, 360 days of home health care. Doesn't matter. Once I recover to the point where my doctor says I don't need home health care, and I have 180 days like that, well, you get a full restoration. So that is the restoration as it works. Now, on the other hand, if I'm starting to use this plan because let's say I have dementia, and currently there's no cure for dementia, I'm not going to recover from that. I won't have those 180 days where my doctor says I do not need home health care, so there would be no restoration. And while I've been gabbing away here, you probably noticed on 2 spots on this PowerPoint slide at the top and the bottom, I've mentioned that Texas did not allow us to offer our restoration benefits in their state. So policy issue out of Texas will not come with any restoration benefits. All right, so how much money can this plan give us for home health care? Pretty simple math here. If you have Plan A, you can get up to $150 per day. So if I needed physical therapy and speech therapy, let's schedule those on the same day, and then I'll max out $150. And then if you just do some simple math, $150 times 360 days of benefits is $54,000 of home health care benefits sitting there waiting for you with Plan A. Now, Plan B, you can get up to $300 per day. So $300 times 360 days, $108,000. In Plan C, up to $450 per day, $162,000 total. Now, just full disclosure for you, because I always like to pass along good news and let you know what's happening with the plan. Our most popular plan sold is Plan B, followed by Plan A, and then Plan C. Quick example, let's say that a 65-year-old has Plan A and they unfortunately had a stroke. So they need some physical therapy, some speech therapy, and let's say they needed it for 10 days in a row. So those benefits are going to be $75 for each one, $150 per day total. They're going to have, after 10 days, $1,500 of benefits coming to them from GTL. And as a reminder, that premium for that 65-year-old with Plan A was $294.45. A lot of coverage available with this plan. Okay, third component. We're moving along here. Home health care aid. And let's just generically say home health care aid is going to be done for people who need some help with their ADLs, toileting, transferring, grooming, bathing, eating. So what you're getting with that, with Plan A is $40, Plan B $80, Plan C $120 per day. What do we need to know about this? Well, the nice thing is with the GTL plan, you don't have to have a prior hospitalization or prior hospitalization for 3 consecutive days in order to start being able to use the home health care aid benefit. No hospitalization is required. That's a great benefit. Also, how long does this last? Well, 60 days. And again, nothing to do with the calendar year. Same restoration as home health care. So you use a little or you use a lot, you recover, don't need it for 180 days, you do get a full restoration. And again, in Texas, no restoration. So even if you use this one time through and have something that you're not recovering from, even with Plan A, it's $2,400, $4,800 with Plan B, $7,200 with Plan C. That's money you don't have to take out of the bank account in order to get some benefits. So even if you're just using it once, still a very viable product. Okay, this is an important slide, and I am just going to break this down for you super easy so you don't have to read everything on the screen. I get questions all the time saying, well, who can provide the care? Can it be my neighbor? Can it be my sister? Can it be my spouse? Well, basically it's this. For home health care, has to be an agency or an organization that's licensed, and they can provide a bill of service with details of what they did at each visit. That's it. For home health care aid, pretty much the same thing. They're licensed or certified in their state, whatever that requirement is, to do that. And they're working for an agency that can provide a bill of service. That's it. So if you have a person, even if you had a spouse, who actually did work at an agency and could provide a bill of service and was licensed to do those, yeah, that works. But for the most part, it's going to be a professional who's licensed, works for an agency, can provide a bill of service. Simple. Okay, so it's very important to let the client know that there's a 6-month pre-ex on this. And let me share with you a great example that happened back in 2018. And I liked it so much in terms of explaining how the pre-ex worked that I made this slide out of it. I had an agent call me in 2018. She said she just signed her husband up for this plan, and currently he's being treated for cancer. So that should make a light bulb go off in your head right there, that you could have cancer or diabetes or COPD or emphysema, and if you don't need home health care right now, if you're not getting home health care, if you're not in a skilled nursing facility, and you don't have a cognitive or functional impairment, you can get this product. So that's the first thing. So her husband's being treated for cancer. She says, how does this 6-month pre-ex work for my husband? And basically it's like this. He gets the policy today. If he starts needing home health care because of his cancer, he cannot use this product for the first 6 months he has it. After 6 months, he could. However, gets the product today, falls and breaks his hip tomorrow. That has nothing to do with the pre-existing condition of having cancer. So he could use it right away. So the pre-ex is all about whatever your conditions are when you apply. Those are pre-existing conditions. You can't use this for home health care due to those pre-existing conditions for the first 6 months you have the policy. Super simple. A nice benefit we have is we have an agreement with the Mayo Clinic. I'm sure everybody on the call, one time or another, wasn't feeling well and decided to their own detriment, go to an online symptom checker, check a couple boxes, check a couple other boxes, and get this wide-ranging possible idea of what you may have wrong with you. And by the time you did that, you were more scared than you were before you went to the website. So the Mayo Clinic online symptom checker is quite different. At last count, it had more than 33 more algorithms programmed into it than the other ones that you see online, and also has many drill down questions as you go through it. So if your client doesn't feel well, can't get a hold of their doctor, they use the Mayo Clinic online symptom checker, a much tighter diagnosis, and also direction if it's something they can take to Aspen and call their doctor on Monday, or maybe they need to go to the ER right away. This comes with the product. There's no box to check on the app. You can just go ahead and everybody's going to be able to use this who has this policy. Okay, very important slide, pricing. So with this plan, if you buy it, let's say at age 65, and you're buying Plan A, you're going to pay $24.54 per month. Now, when you reach the age of 71, you are now in the next age range band. And once your policy hits its anniversary date, your premiums are going to automatically increase to $32.85 per month. And then Years later, when you hit age 76 and the policy hits its anniversary date, you're going to go to 43.48. So it's important to let your clients know that this plan will increase in price every 4 years or so. One other thing that I should make note of here too is if you have a client that is close to the next age range band, for example, he's 70 and he's applying for this plan, so next year, not when he turns 71, but when his policy hits the anniversary date, he's going to have a rate increase. So if he's close to the age range band, make sure to take the time to explain that you will have a rate increase, a year from now when you hit 71, and you guys know what I'm talking about. So just make sure they know it increases in price, and if they're really close to the next age range band, really make a point of that. Okay, and I mentioned earlier you can keep this plan as long as you like. So at age 86, this is the last rate increase that is in there. Now, most people, as you know, your clients are paying monthly bank draft on most of their coverage. We can draft for any mode. And if you have a client that doesn't want their bank account drafted, well, we can do direct bill. It's a little more difficult now with the COVID environment because we would require a paper application be completed, and we would require that application come to GTL with the first premium payment. So a little more difficult in the COVID environment. So hopefully your clients will select a bank draft mode. All right, so when I started talking about the prescription drug benefits, I'm sure many of you were saying, well, how do they get their money? Hopefully it's not hard. Well, it could not be any easier. All you have to do, take your prescription receipt that comes stapled to the bag when you pick it up at Walgreens or in the box when you get it in the mail. You write your detailed policy number on it and you put it in an envelope to GTL. That is it. No claim form needs to be sent out to GTL. You just send us your prescription receipts. And you can send them as often as you like. We have folks that have been sending them in every time they go to Walgreens or Rite Aid or CVS, or they send them in monthly, quarterly, or at the end of the year, they just go to their pharmacy and say, print me out a listing of the prescriptions I had filled this year, and then they can send GTL that information. Whatever's easier for your client, we are totally fine with. Now, when you go and claim for home health care or home health care aid benefits, it's a very short claim form to complete. They would also, the first time through, submit their plan of care, and that's normally completed by the doctor whenever his client needs home health care or home health care aid services. And that's basically going to say something like, well, Greg needs a home health care aid to come to the house twice per week to do this and do that. That's what the plan of care is. And then you would just also, with that claim form and plan of care, send in the first bill you have. Now, the good news is next month or whenever you want to send in the next bill, you don't need to complete a new claim form or a plan of care. You just send in the bill. That's the claim process for home health care and home health care aid benefits. And if you're going to use one of the riders, it's the same thing minus the plan of care. So if you have the ambulance rider or one of the other riders that are available and you have some claim benefits coming, you fill out the short claim form, you include the bill, and you send it to GTL. Our normal turnaround time is 8 business days. Okay, so that's the product, but I want to talk to you about some of the riders, and this one's really an interesting one. If you have been selling GTL's hospital indemnity plan for a while, you know it's the best out there and always has been for the past 16 years. However, unfortunately, sometimes you'll run into a client that cannot get approved for that standalone policy because of an existing health condition, or maybe they just got out of the hospital. Well, you noticed from the application questions for the short-term home health care plan, it didn't ask if you just had a recent hospital stay. It didn't ask if you had serious health conditions like insulin-dependent diabetes or COPD or emphysema or had a heart attack recently or cancer recently. It didn't ask. So the standalone is best because the rates stay the same. However, if they can't get the standalone plan, maybe this hospital indemnity rider on the short-term home health care plan will fit the bill for what they need. Now, the rates will increase like the base plan does every 4 to 5 years. However, you still have some nice choices here. You can pick up this rider, have a 3 or 6 day benefit period, and those benefit periods restore an unlimited amount of times after 60 days of no hospitalization. And you can get $100, $200, or $300 per day that you're in the hospital, depending upon what you sign up for. So very nice to be able to give your clients some hospital indemnity rider benefits if they can't get our standalone plan. So things that are different with regard to our hospital indemnity rider compared to our standalone plan is that there's a 30-day wait to use it for sicknesses. Also, the rates will increase every 4 to 5 years, as I mentioned. So those are the two things to know that differentiate it from the standalone plan. The 6-month pre-X works exactly the same way as it does both on our standalone plan and as I described for the base plan for the short-term home health care plan. So you buy this plan, you got pre-existing conditions, you can't use the hospital indemnity rider for it for the first 6 months that you have it. After 6 months, you can. A couple other riders definitely worth mentioning. There's an ambulance rider, give you $200 every time you use an ambulance. And the cool thing about this rider is if you use an ambulance, you get your money. Doesn't matter if it's just an ER visit or an observation coded visit or a full-blown inpatient visit, you are definitely getting your money from GTL. And that's going to be $200. You can use it up to 4 times per year, up to $2,500 over the lifetime of the policy. And if you do use it up, it will just fall off your policy and then your future premiums would go down because the ambulance rider would not be on it anymore. Critical accident rider. This is a rider I like. Not only like the ambulance rider is it only a couple dollars per month. Ambulance rider tends to be about $3 to $5 a month. Critical accident rider, about the same thing and maybe even a little bit less. I'll give you an example. I'm 56 years old. I have the critical accident rider on my policy, and I have the $10,000 rider. And at 56 years of age, it costs me $1.86 per month to have the critical accident rider. And what this does is it basically says, hey, you know, when you get a little bit older, your bones get a little more brittle, and when you slip and fall, things tend to break. That's what this rider is about. So if you have a slip and fall and fracture your hip, that's going to be either a $1,250 or $2,500 lump sum payout, depending upon if you have the $5,000 or the $10,000 rider. And you can see what else is on the screen there. And also, you probably noticed by now there's an accidental death benefit of either $5,000 or $10,000. Now, the most you can get in total will be either a $5,000 benefit or a $10,000 benefit. And there's a 30-day wait for the coverage to kick in. I do tend to like the rider. The more that I work, the more trainings, the more I think about this rider and what it does. It makes a lot of sense. Return a premium rider. Okay, I have a couple comments with regard to this rider. I'm always transparent and like to make sure that I pass along that information to you. So the rider works this way. If the policyholder dies before reaching the age of 86, the beneficiary will receive the premium sent to GTL less any claims paid. So here's my comment. Less any claims paid does include the prescription drug benefits that the policyholder received over the life of their policy. So try to keep that in mind. If you have a client who is probably going to use quite a bit of the prescription drug benefit, if they do pass away before the age of 86 and they have the ROP rider, their return of premium is probably not going to be that much. So just keep that in mind. And then also in Texas, they did not allow us to offer the return of premium rider for policies issued in Texas. One last piece of great news before I leave this slide. All of the riders, ambulance, critical illness, return of premium, when you buy them, that is going to be your rate. These riders do not increase in price every 4 or 5 years like the base plan or the hospital indemnity rider do. Okay, so if you haven't done it yet, if you want to quote this plan, download GTL e-app onto your tablet or smartphone, and you're also going to be able to use that e-app to submit business. Use this app when you're with clients. because they can sign your device screen and they're done. We still accept paper applications. You can use the e-app for when you're with the client and they can sign your device screen. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have a PC platform that allows you to go ahead and do applications virtually without needing to be in the same place as the client. Now, since you're using the PC platform and there's nowhere for them to sign, they have to do a verification call, which is very short, and I'll tell you about it in just a couple minutes. But before I do that, I want to show you a fun video that shows you how easy it is to use the GTL e-app platforms. And the great thing about them is whether you're using the PC platform or the e-app platform, they look exactly the same. So let's take a look and see how these work. And I think you'll agree it's super simple to use.
Hey, Greg, I think we lost sound while you're going through your video here.
Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we're good to go. So basically what you saw there was how easy it is to use the platform. And you did notice that one of the things that one of the screens said was your client needs to complete a verification call. And it gave you the number to call. And here's basically what happens with that call. It's 2 to 3 minutes. It's totally automated, like talking to Siri or Alexa. There's no health questions. You're already taking care of that on the application. But it's going to ask them a couple questions to verify their identity. And the reason we have the verification call is to take place of their signature. So it's giving GTL the authorization to issue a policy and draft their bank account. So we're going to ask them their name, last four or their social, their date of birth. If there's a second person applying, the name of the product they're applying for, so short-term home health care, and your name as their agent. And then we ask them 2 quick questions that you answer under the application questions truthfully, and you understand you need to pay a premium to keep it. That's it. So you can see this takes less than 3 minutes. The client can either just respond verbally, or they can punch the answers in on their phone's keypad. It's a piece of cake. As a tip, I will tell you that most of the agents conference their client in to do the V-call while they're doing the application. So while you're doing the application form, you're going to come to that verification screen. You're going to say, Mrs. Smith, we need to do a quick verification call. Hold on for a second. I'm going to call the number. And when they ask you the questions, just respond. Now, 98% of the people get through the verification call perfectly the first time. If you want to know what 2 questions people get hung up on, you wouldn't believe it, the name of the product and their agent's name. So if you give them a little heads up, it's going to ask you a couple questions, and just remember the name of the product, short-term home health care, and my name is Greg Esposito. They're going to just go right through it. If they have any issues whatsoever, you can just hang up and do it again. So it works great. We've been using the V-call for close to 15 years now. Works really well. So we've definitely covered a lot of information today, and I just want to let you know if you ever have questions on the product, if you have questions on how to use the e-app, if you need to order some supplies, Well, you can always call GTL Sales Support at 800-323-6907 or agency@gtlic.com. I mean, of course, Premier's been working with this plan for quite a long time with us. They know it in and out too. But if you need to call sales support, that's the number. And I always like to put my email on the screen too. I understand GTL is not open 24/7, either is Premier. But my phone is. So you feel free to email me anytime, after hours, weekends, whatever it is. If you're at an appointment, I want to make sure that I can get you the answer to the question you got stumped on, and hopefully you'll go ahead and write that policy. So do not be shy about using my email address, gspo@gtlic.com. So let's take a look here and see if we have some questions that I can tackle.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. So we do have some questions.
Great. Let's play Stump the GTL Sales Manager, Mandy.
Okay. So one of the questions, and this is a good one, they asked if they were able to link that video or add that PDF infographic to their website and or social media.
Absolutely can, and those are great ideas. Like I during every once in a while, I put it on LinkedIn to send it out to all the agents that I have out there, saying, "Hey, remember you have this, and you can definitely use it." You could put it on your website. You can put it on social media, and some agents actually prospect via email to their clients, and say, "Hey, just want to reach out to you and see if you." Have made some plans for care down the road. If not, give me a call and just check this video out. So that is a great idea to prospect with. And you can do that both with the infographic, we have it in PDF form, and the consumer video link.
Awesome. Okay, another question was, they asked, so are these cash benefits paid to the client after Medicare or other insurance has already been paid?
Great question. So we do not coordinate coverage whatsoever. This is an indemnity plan, so we're going to pay them based upon their GTL coverage. So they turn in the claim form. We pay them the benefits they have coming, whether that is more or less, than what their actual copays are. We really don't care. So we're just going to pay them the benefits based upon their policy benefits.
Okay, and then, someone asked, and this one I can answer. Someone asked if they're going to receive a copy of our webinar today. And yes, I know a couple of you did have some audio issues at the beginning. But yes, for registering for the webinar today, you will get a recording of our webinar. Will be emailed to you as well. So another question for you, Greg, is, go ahead.
I should also add, if you don't have them, let me go ahead and email you the links to the consumer video and the PDF of the infographic, so you can pop those into your emails to the agents too, so they have them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Yes, we will include that with our recording too. Another good question was, is GTL working on obtaining approvals for this plan in states where it's not currently approved?
Okay, so let's put it this way. We have probably exhausted most of the states that we would be able to get approval in. So that's my little disclaimer of saying probably not going to get any more, but if we do, we may get one or two. Some states we just know we're not going to get it because of their short-term care regulations. There are some other states, though, that haven't written their short-term care regulations yet. So they can't approve the product because they don't even have their regs built. For us, a couple of years ago, Texas was one of those. We tried to get the product approved, and they had yet to write their regulations for this type of short-term home health care plan. So there's a possibility if there's a couple other states out there that haven't written their regs yet, and they do, we'll definitely file there and try to get approval. And there's some other states that we already know that they would not go ahead and approve it based upon the current regs that they have. And you could always email me if you have a particular state in mind, and I'm happy to check with our compliance department to see if we filed, if we haven't, or if we know it's a definite no already.
Awesome. Okay. Another one was, can an insured move from one plan level to another?
We do have the opportunity to change plans. This is a little bit of a different animal, if you will. Like with some of our other plans, let's say you have a certain amount of coverage and it's a base plan and you can add to that same base plan. This one's a little bit different. It's either plan A, plan B, or plan C. So if you are looking to go from plan A to plan B, it's going to be more of a getting rid of the old plan and starting over with a new plan as opposed to adding to it. So a little bit different animal, but it is possible.
All right. And then let's see. I know I had another one here. This one I'm not sure. It says, if someone goes on claim 5 months after for pre-existing, they say 5 months after the date, are they eligible after the 6 month, or is it excluded ongoing?
Oh, really good question. No, it's just a 6 month pre-ex. So, let me run through this a couple different ways so that I make sure I answer the exact question the client had. So, if they have a pre-existing condition when they apply, and 5 months after the policy is issued, they start needing home health care for that condition, well, they're only 1 month away from being able to start using it for that pre-existing condition. And if they, apply for coverage and after 5 months something happens to them that is not pre-existing, it's just something that happens, they can use it right away. So, yeah, that's basically how it works. It's really only a 6 month wait for pre-existing conditions that you have at the time that your policy is issued.
Okay, and then I have another one here. Is there a discount if it's offered to a group?
No, there's no discount if offered to a group, but that does lend me to another piece of information here. We do direct billing. So if you do have a group and you're having 4 or more life supply, then we do have the setup for any GTL products for direct billing. But no, there's no group discount, if you will.
Okay, let me comb through here and see if I have any more questions. I think you've covered the pre-existing. I had a couple questions about that. And then I did have a question about if you could just go over the hospital indemnity one more time, just a quick rundown of it.
Yeah, sure. So think of it this way. You have a 3-day or a 6-day benefit period to choose from. And the 3-day or 6-day benefit period, whichever one you choose, they restore an unlimited amount of times after 60 days of no use. So if you have a 6-day benefit period, you go into the hospital for, let's say, 2 days, you come home. After 60 days of being home, you get a brand new 6-day benefit period to work with. So these things, you're able to use them over and over and over again. And, depending upon what you sign up for, you can sign up for either a 3-day or 6-day benefit period. You could sign up for $100, $200, or $300 per day of a hospitalization benefit. So if you're in the hospital for 24 hours, you're going to get 1 day's benefit. And if you're in for 3 days, you get 3 days benefit. And then you get the restoration of these base plans every 60 days. With regard to the hospital indemnity rider pricing, it's just like the base plan for home health care. It will increase in price every 4 to 5 years. And there's a 30-day wait for using it for sickness. But if something happens, injury-wise, you can use it right away. So the main difference is if you're going to buy this one, it's great because virtually anyone who can get the short-term home health care plan can get hospital indemnity coverage. But if you have a client who wants hospital indemnity coverage and they can get the standalone hospital indemnity plan from GTL, that would be my suggestion. Because once you buy the standalone plan from GTL called Advantage Plus, their rate's going to stay the same as they get older. Whereas with this one, the rider, it does increase. But they're both good, they're both viable, and I'm sure agents who have been selling for a while have tried to sell a hospital indemnity plan. They ask the first question on the app, which says, have you been in the hospital the last 6 months? And the client says, yes. Well, they can't get the standalone product, but they could get this one, the rider. So that, if you have any other questions on it, feel free to just email me directly on it. But hopefully I covered what you were asking about.
Okay, actually a few more questions come in, but someone
Great,
asked,
keep
how
them
many
coming.
times can the home health care benefits be restored?
Yeah, so keep in mind you do get that full restoration if a couple things happen. If you recover to the point where your doctor says you do not have to need any type of home health care or home health care aid, so you get 180 days of that, you get the full restoration. And also keep in mind you don't have to use it all up. You know, you could break your hip and only use it for 90 days, completely recover. And after 180 days, you'd get a full restoration of those 360 days of home health care or full restoration of those 60 days of home health care aid. So you get that restoration every time that you have that situation happen. And again, in Texas, sorry, unfortunately, no restoration at all.
Okay, and then someone asked, who handles claims for this product, GTL or is it another company? Also, is there a claims coordinator as part of the policy benefit?
Yeah, so we tackle all of our claims at GTL because we want to make sure we have full control of making sure these things get processed very quickly. So we take the claims form directly at GTL. We have an incredible claims staff. We welcome to have policyholders call and ask about their claim anytime they need to. Most of them do not have to call at all because they're processed very quickly, but we always welcome a call to ask where it's at. And also if the agents would like to call, you can. We're a little bit limited with regard to what we can tell you because of HIPAA regs, but we'll try to do the best we can to let you know what's happening. And yes, we have claims supervisors, we have a VP of claims, and believe me, they're all excellent. And it is very common for them to talk to the policyholders if they have any questions, and you should just be very assured that the policyholders are going to be very happy when they have the conversation with the claims folks. They're very good people trying to get the claims process as fast as possible. And the only thing that we do on the outside is if we needed to get medical records, and this would be more along the lines of like a hospital indemnity claim, we do order the records. However, we have a service follow-up every 3 days with the doctor to make sure that we're getting the records as fast as possible. So we do everything internally with the exception of follow-up for doctor's records. That's it.
Okay, and then I just got two more here. So someone asked, is there a spouse discount?
There's not a spouse discount. Everybody gets their own policy. And I think with regard to the pricing on this, you kind of get the idea that this is going to be a very inexpensive plan for the client if they're using their prescription drug benefits at all. So no spouse discount. Everybody has their own policy, and it's the same price for everybody.
Awesome. Okay, and then one last question, and actually I think this is a great one to end on here. It says, compared to your primary competitors, what makes GTL superior?
Well, that's very simple. The first thing is with the product, we don't have any type of hospitalization requirement in order for this care to begin. Second thing is we've got an e-platform that you can get their business issued in minutes. And most importantly, we process our claims so much faster and efficiently than our competition. And our claims process is just known as, in the industry, the one that's the fastest, and GTL pays its claims. I think one of the things that's super important when it comes to claim payments, and I think everyone will kind of agree with me, is you never want to give a policyholder the impression that you are trying to delay paying their claim or don't want to pay their claim for some reason. GTL's always paid every penny of a claim that was due to a policyholder, and we have to really make special efforts when we talk to policyholders to make sure that they understand we're processing their claim, we're on top of it, and it's going to be done as soon as possible. So that's kind of what we're known for in the field, whether it be a short-term home health care claim or a hospital indemnity claim. We have agents that have tried other carriers and they tend to come back to GTL for that reason. We pay our claims very quickly, and we're very good with the customer service end of that, talking to policyholders when needed, so they're very comfortable. Because we want to make sure that we're having a good relationship with the policyholder, but also we know that if we don't do a good job with that, that's also a bad reflection on the agent who recommended the coverage. So, very important for GTL to pay claims. That's really what makes us stand out the most from our competitors.
Awesome. Well, Greg, I thank you so much for joining us today and giving us all this great information. We had a lot of really great questions. If anyone has further questions, please feel free to reach out to Katie or myself here at Premier, and we'd be happy to answer anything for you. I had some people reach out asking about commissions and contracting, and so we'll definitely be getting in touch with some of you. So thank you so much, and we can't wait to have another one with you. We'll definitely keep talking about this product. It's a hot topic.
Yeah, it's a great plan. It is a hot product, and it works so well for the clients. And I'll get those links to you guys so you can get them out to the agents. And again, thanks so much for the opportunity to talk to you today, and thanks to everybody for tuning in. You guys have a great rest of the week. Stay warm, stay safe, and spring's coming sooner or later.
Awesome. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Take care.